8% of the Twitch audience, I think.
Yeah.
Except the League fans, but they've already got something else to watch anyway. So Alchemist now getting banned out. Quickly recapping the draft gods. Both Elder Titan and Shadow Demon making it through this time around, whereas they are, I think, almost every game have been first phase banned from what we've seen coming in.
Yeah, interesting. I guess the Kunkka after yesterday's performance from a few different Kunkka players has kind of been elevated into that, hey, we're going to ban this first. And for Vici Gaming, I think the strat is actually let's ban out some of Honor's best heroes, like Odie and Drow. Like those are two of the heroes he's had the most success on. They even go on to ban the Morphling later on, probably knowing that OG is not going to first stage pick a Morphling. And suddenly you're forcing this new player playing on a new team, at kind of fairly new to the competitive scene, to play something out of his comfort zone. So Vici Gaming really targeting that one player with their bans.
Slardar now the choice for Vici Gaming. So Dire side with the Jug, already pretty good at Roche. Now they get even better. Someone who can give them that reliable initiation. And generally with the Slardar picks we've seen, it's very boom or bust. Either you get a decent timing on the blink, you get your farm early, or you just struggle mightily. It's been very little in between for this hero so far.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see whether or not they can make the hero work or not for Vici Gaming. I mean, the Slardar Jug, this is just looking like a lot of aggression coming out. The Jug can benefit from the minus armor. We saw the Slardar Lifestealer yesterday and how fast-paced that could be, and OG immediately come up with a defensive support to respond to the Slardar pick. Something that can boost up their armor, can save against the Blink Crush initiations. Having the Dazzle can go a long way here. And it combos well with the Axe. I mean, you Blink Call, you have the Heal Bomb. It also gives your Axe some good sustain. And I like seeing these heroes paired together.
OG's turn to pick.
Lady Naga now the choice. They pick it into the Axe, but we've seen a lot more of the support Naga as of late. And then we saw the support that becomes a carry, Puppy Naga, of course, yesterday, which was a lot of fun. Not sure if that was the original game plan or more just a good adaptation and an opportunistic decision by him, but definitely a flexible pick, and especially running as a support, it's not like you have to worry so much about the Axe dealing well with the illusions.
Yeah, it's also going to keep OG guessing when it comes to their last couple of picks. The nice thing about the draft right now for Vici Gaming is that they've got the last overall pick, so OG have to pick 2 heroes in a row, not knowing whether this Naga is going to be a mid-core Naga or a safe lane core Naga or a support Naga, and it really affects your draft and just your last 2 picks. If you know where that Naga's going, it's much easier to draft and decide what kind of playstyle and heroes to choose. But because you don't know where the Naga's doing, it's very difficult, and you have to kind of pick and draft safer with these last 2 hero choices.
Storm now the choice for Team OG, so our likely Ana hero has been selected, and that really only leaves the no-till hero to be chosen here for OG, as I think almost certainly expect S4 to be playing that Axe in the offlane.
Yeah, that seems a good fit for him. Storm alone doesn't pack enough damage to run like an Axe in the safe lane in my mind as a core, so Sven will be banned out by Vici Gaming. That's more bonus armor, something that can fight really well into the Juggernaut and the Slardar, so a good safe ban coming out from Vici Gaming. And doesn't really say much as to the Naga, whether it's a core or support. Vici Gaming themselves maybe just going to wait to see what OG pick before they decide whether Naga's a core or a support. They themselves may be thinking, let's just leave this open and flexible.
So, with the Sven ban, a hero that does quite well against Slardar, and I think more than anything else, and Jug is mostly a physical damage carry, so it's a no-tail special at this point, been a go-to hero for OG in quite a few matches. So I do like the ban, fits very well. OG, one more hero to remove, and most likely looking at a support hero. We've seen a little support Slardar, but generally, I guess they have the Naga who can also play support, so I guess really depends on how they read this situation. We've seen mid-Jugs, we've seen them run in the safe lane, we've seen support and carry Naga, we've seen Nagas that transition, we've seen a little support Slardar, though not so much lately, so it's not 100% clear which way Vici Gaming want to run it, but I guess I would say probably most likely it's an off-lane Slardar, and then they're looking for one more core would be my guess.
Yeah, the Jug can mid okay against the Storm, like that's not a terrible matchup by any means. Ghost is also really comfortable on the Jug, but I don't know if that's going to be the hero of choice. He's played a really good Invoker yesterday in the Game 3 Cider against MVP, so something that could consider picking up again. Combos fairly well with the slider. You've got the ensnare as well as a setup, but lots of options for Vici Gaming. They can pick a mid, they can pick a carry, they can pick a 4-position support if they want to do Naga core. This is super flexible, and OG actually banned out the Keeper. That suggests they're most scared of the Naga core, and that a Keeper of the Light would just make that Naga core that much harder to deal with.
Well, Terrorblade for OG, so they get someone who can really take down buildings. Sven also could have provided that. Vici don't have the best like anti-Terrorblade heroes, but if it is a support Naga, I mean, there's Tinker out there.
Yeah,
it's not a go-to Vici hero.
Tinker or an Invoker could both be good. Tinker's like one of the ultimate TB counters in some ways. Not necessarily like to say, oh, you pick a TB, you pick a Tinker, TB is going to be useless, but it is one of the better 1v1 hero matchups as far as how they play out against each other in the mid to late game.
But he is not great against Storm, probably one of the best heroes to hunt Tinker. So
yeah,
they will opt to go Mirana instead. This hero's really fallen off in popularity since TI. Now, obviously, Starstorm did get that nerf, which reduces the effective damage output quite a bit, but it's still a strong hero, and I'm surprised we haven't seen a bit more of it, especially with the drought picks.
It seems the hero is more suited maybe to that 4-position role now. We're seeing it a bit more there. FY picks up here. I've seen Yapzor play it a lot really well. Being able to roam around, pressure the mid lane, and also just not fall behind on levels and farm, because you can use that arrow to farm neutral camps as you're roaming around. Like the enemy jungle, your own jungle, just pop a clarity, throw a few arrows, and suddenly you've won your team the lanes while hitting level 3, level 4 at a decent time just in the jungle. So it's effectively like a jungle roaming hero that secures you potential wins in the mid lane while jungling. It's really powerful when run in this 4-position way.
And with that, guys, we do get underway here. OG on the Radiant side, a best of 3 elimination match as MDL starts to come down the home stretch. Just quickly gonna fix my camera acceleration, and we get into it. So the early TP from Jerax, he will head down towards the bottom lane into the Roche pit. He's opting for the boots first on the other Titan, and Vici Gaming, meanwhile, under cover of smoke, they all creep down this way. It looks like Yang is the lone man being revealed. A bit of a bait from the looks of things. Want to act like it's just Yang going to ward. Maybe OG will take it. Jerax in the trees trying to set up. He does go in, and oh, hey buddy, actually I brought some friends. The arrow comes through. A perfect shot by FY, and OG will be giving up the first blood here. That was a crafty way to go for the smoke down the enemy jungle gods.
Yeah, bypassing the ward there, and I think ET is perhaps expecting someone to TP with a smoke to plant a ward, so he'd scout them out, but he did not expect 5 heroes there, because if you got boots first on ET, you want to be in a position where you see them and you can still run away. When you're behind the tree line, you see them and they're in melee range. You have no chance to get away from. I mean, the Slider could have crushed him even. The Shadow Demon Disruption. There were 2 different initiation spells that can catch you out as a boots first ET. That just should not happen. But the smoke with the Observer ward completely, Jerax kind of mind games himself there.
Yeah, nice job by Vici overall to catch OG off guard. And with that, it is going to be No-Tail running the safe lane. Terrorblade looks like Fly to assist him, at least for the start of things here on the Dazzle. In the mid lane, Ana going to be playing the Storm. He will be laning against Ghost on the Naga, so it is in fact a core Naga. We were, discussing this a bit at the end of the draft. Like, is it support? Is it a core? Could go either way, and Vici in the end decided to run it as a core. Still, Storm, high base armor, good AoE, can deal somewhat effectively with those illusions, so it is going to be try on try bottom gods, and that's where we have to expect most of the action will be coming.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough lane for No-Tail and Fly. The disruption to arrow, you can try use those illusions, which No-Tail got at level 1 to bait out spells, block an arrow, but that in itself is not entirely reliable.
Yeah, in general, at this stage of the game, those illusions aren't very tanky, so already I think Vici Gaming have realized which ones are real, which ones aren't, and FY just patiently waits in the trees here. Now that Observer ward that OG has didn't see FY walk into the tree line, so they could potentially get caught out here as DDC just waits for the right opportunity. No boots on the Jug yet. Already though, with the heal skilled up, you won't have a shallow grave, so if someone gets caught out of position, disrupted into an arrow, most likely they do die. Not a whole lot of counterplay at level 1. And OG, for the time being, they have shoved the wave out a bit, but it does open up some fresh angles for FY, though there will be extra creeps to fight against. He goes from behind onto Fly, setting up, and it's just a chafing arrow for now.
He doesn't have
He's
leap
actually in
though.
trouble.
Okay, I was about to say this is a bit of an odd. I guess canceling that clarity is really high value because I mean, that's effectively like 2 heals that you just denied from Fly because it was a fresh clarity. But interesting, very kind of slow defensive play coming out from Beach in the tri lane, but they're waiting to find their moments. Both pull camps have been blocked, so this lane is just straight up. You've got the lane, you've got nothing else.
And the one lane we have yet to look at here is Yang playing the safe lane Slardar, but up against an Axe. Pretty awful lane for Slardar. He's actually done fairly well so far, Gods, with 7 CS, but as the Axe continues to level, it only gets tougher with the additional points in counter Helix. CS4 just confidently diving him, even tanking some tower shots here, and even diving him without creeps to get that spin proc on, now dragging the wave into the side camp, so kind of like the off-lane Darkseer picks we used to see where you'd like farm the camp as well as the lane.
Bottom lane, arrow.
Farm. And they found an illusion.
I come down as I see a disrupted thing. I'm like, oh, did they get someone? No, it's an illusion. But yeah, Yang's got the right items for the 1v1. Like he had the double tangos plus salve and a stout, so he can tank his he can take the creeps under the tower. He's also got a point and bash. He's looking to fight S4 using this.
He might have a chance to kill him here with the crush, but no points in sprint though. Is he going to skill it up? He does opt to, and the spins come out the other way. In the manliness battle,
spin.
yeah, S4 is
When
gonna win
only
that one.
Slada's hitting you and you get a first hit spin, that's some RNG.
Yeah, he did get the 1 bash, but didn't get any more after that when he really needed them.
Yang got unlucky. He got a bash under the tower that made him like miss 2 last hits in a row. Like that's when you're just like, man, why did I level up this bash? Because your last hitting gets screwed up when you get that bonus damage onto your tower sometimes. But yeah, it happens. FY now positioned around this mid lane, perhaps thinking he can find a kill on Honor, but level 5 we could see Naga get ensnare. It's just very hard to bring down the storm. 6 base armor, not an easy kill by any means.
So overall, looks like Vici Gaming getting a bit less farm, but the one here they are slowing down a lot is No Tail on the Terrorblade. Being denied experience, being denied levels. Yet to see the kills out of the offensive tri-lane here. Just that early smoke play before the rune even spawned. Not really ideal.
Top S4's bullying. Yeah, he gets 2 spins in a row. That's going to really push him out of this lane. Suddenly S4's got complete control over this lane. Yang's out of regen, doesn't have mana for any more, only 1 more crush maybe. And S4 with his Ring of Health is just going to dominate this lane. He can creep skip. He can really bully Yang now.
I mean, to be honest, Slardar should not win the lane unless he gets really lucky. I think that's why we saw Yang playing aggro, hoping for the bash RNG before Guts this point. Arrow, disruption combo in the mid lane, finds Ana, now goes to follow it up. He's pretty low here, and the Elder Titan's not may allow him to disengage safely. Will he make it out? Not going to happen. They even forced the Jerax TP, but it's all for naught. He can get a little experience, but Vici Gaming, they've been roaming a lot more lately, and this one will be successful.
Yeah, this is like the old school Vici, you know, the FY and Fenrir, 2-hero roaming, SD Leshrax, SD Miranas. We're seeing it return here. And FY is so comfortable playing this style, heavy roaming early on. We'll see if they can continue to find success in getting some kills early on in the game for Vici Gaming.
FY duking it out here with the man with a very large staple gun, just slowly slapping down FY.
I think at some point they have to focus a gank on top lane. Like that Axe is playing so aggro, and Slada only really needs like 1 hero, like 1 Mirana may be enough to get a kill on the Axe. You've got to go before the Vanguard. If he gets Vanguard up, you can't kill him.
There's a disruption in the mid lane, but Storm already level 6, able to ball away with the arrow, not perfectly timed to follow it up.
S4 can actually buy his Vanguard. That's insane.
It's a very farmed axe.
Okay, never mind. Ganking Axe. Now you can't do it with 2 heroes. Now you need at least 3.
I don't know if you really want to. There's no one who can just sit top and farm against him either. Like support Mirana obviously can't. Juggernaut, he can maybe live in the lane, but he's going to be under a lot of pressure with the spins as well as the dunk damage, just ignoring his Blade Fury.
Jug might consider going up there when he hits 6 to get the kill, because you see this Axe Vanguard and you're like, okay, he's just going to keep staying in this lane, bullying the lane. If you can kill him with the Vanguard, it's really nice, because the blink timing gets slowed down even further. The Vanguard already means you're having a slow blink, so amp damage with Omni Slash, pretty solid. for trying to kill an axe, but
then your
still.
Terrorblade is going to farm a lot better. And No-Tail, he's already, the pressure's been relieved after that one move towards mid. So overall, OG, after a slow start, are right back in it with a gold, equalizing the gold, and now actually a significant advantage when it comes to experience. Things looking very good here for the boys in green.
They played this tri-lane just really defensively and incredibly well. Like, I'm looking at this like, oh god, they're going to give up some kills to an SD Mirana Jug, but No-Tail with the level 1 illusion always had good vision scouting, was able to bait out some spells, had it to kind of block the arrows. Again, we're going to see a disruption. How do you arrow this? The illusion's there. No-Tail's ready for this every single time, and OG's play in this defensive tri-lane has been just on point, shutting out any Vici Gaming aggression.
The lane's looking really good for OG, and if they ever try to make that move on the axe, OG will take this tower, very likely, if the Metamorphosis is online. So for now, No-Tail just continues to chip away. Another arrow, having a fish, but No-Tail ready for that one as well. We'll just sidestep it, backs out. Vici Gaming just not getting enough done, it feels like. Though the one silver lining is Ghost is farming very well mid on the Naga. Iron Talon completed, has the Wraith Band with the Poor Man Shield, and now can start to work on that Relic.
I'd really like to see, you mentioned like if Jug goes top or something, they're going to push bottom with Metamorph. Now the Metamorph is down. Take the Jug top to kill the axe. He's got the TP scroll. If he can hit level, he just hits level 6. To me, this is your time to send someone like Jug top because you're not scared of the Metamorph pushing your tower.
Yeah, so I know a lot of you guys are joining us from BTS 1 now. Sorry, we had a bit of a kerfluffle trying to get the stream online on the main channel. But just to catch you up, this is game 1 of a best of 3. It is a lower bracket elimination match, so we'll have at least one more game after this. Losing team will be knocked out of the tournament. The winning team will play the winner of our next best of 3 coming up immediately after this one. Of course, I'm LD. I'm joined here by God. And with that all out of the way, things so far looking pretty good for OG. They are giving up a lot of farm to the Vici Gaming Naga Siren, but they are getting great farm on S4, who had an easy 1v1 against the Slardar.
Here we go top.
And they are going to try to make that move you mentioned. They want to gank him, but backup is already inbound. Elder Titan getting into position. The Omni Slash there, and with the amp damage, unable to get off the Berserker's Call because of that arrow from FY. Prevented any sort of escape, and now they move on to Jerax. Vici Gaming finding the openings. Will they get any sort of follow-up bash here? Yang, no, not going to happen.
Oh, he didn't TP the Fountain. He TP'd outside. The Shadow Poison was still on him. He might still die even if he TP's Fountain, but it would have been a lot less like, what, level 2 Shadow Poison? He had 2, maybe 3 stacks. I think he could have lived.
It was a close call there. It was a little laggy on my end. So I saw him die. I was like, oh, he must have died before TPing and just not gotten the animation for it. But yeah, he did actually make it back.
Yeah, he had the Grave TP, but Poison, I don't know. Got to double click then TPs, I guess. Maybe his quick cast on, which is, knowing Jerax as an Earth Spirit play, he probably uses quick cast.
No-Tail with the gank on the mid lane, just trying to catch this tower out. And towers, they can't run, so despite the FY arrow. So onto Ana. No-Tail will secure that tower with the bottom tower at about half health. He'll march back under dire vision. He's got a cool little move on Metamorph.
Yeah, normally you see that, like, oh, okay, they TP top to fight, let's push our bottom tier 1 tower, but No-Tail goes mid, and that's actually a more important tower to push than that bottom tier 1. Taking mid tier 1 tower is the hardest tower to push early, but the most valuable to push early, so I really like seeing No-Tail switch it up and head mid rather than bottom there.
Yeah, I just like seeing a Terrorblade like get active. That's generally a hero that just sits in the jungle, stays in his lane. You come to push his tower, but it's a curveball from him. I guess the other thing for Vici Gaming they will be happy about, Elder Titan, only level 4 just now, almost 10 minutes in. Fly doing quite a bit better, but this is a support that needs his levels, gods. Even though, you know, generally he's not given as much farm priority or level priority as he used to be, and you know, that 1 point in Echo Stomp is still pretty good, but you really want to max it out. Ideally get the natural order leveled up.
Yeah, meanwhile dire supports have farm, have levels, and they're getting kills. I mean, DDC gets a solo kill with that near fountain kill. He's hit level 6 already, so it's looking a lot better in the Vici camp as far as the supports go, and also then they've got the Naga doing well. So as long as they can get a decent time on Slider's Blink, I think Vici Gaming are going to be pretty okay with how this laning stage went. I mean, they're up 4-0. The lanes have not been dominant from them, even though they've got this 4-0 kill lead. It's been S4's axe really causing problems, but that 1 kill slowed down his Blink Dagger enough and gave Vici Gaming some breathing room.
S4 currently trying to complete the Blink, 500 gold to go. There's a Dire Ward to scout out what OG have lurking near this tower in the top lane. And we'll have to see if they look to take advantage of that vision for now, Naga en route to the Relic, sitting at 2,500 gold, and has really not been contested at all this game. 92 CS. Of course, the trade-off has come elsewhere on the map. Meanwhile, Yang also closing on his blink. So we're going to see both of those blinks in short order, but S4 will get his first, and with the Elder Titan as well as the Storm, they have some great initiation now on OG.
Yeah, OG likely to be looking to start having this Storm Spirit take part in some of these fights using the Axe initiation, and then you can follow up these pickups with the Metamorphosis to get some kills. Jerix is already keeping mid, perhaps to set up here, or look to just back up Anna a bit.
There's the Song from Ghost.
Hey, no arrow.
So they disrupted. He had to leap to get the arrow trajectory, and by the time that he's able to let it fire, it was just too late. Storm able to jump away. Struggling a bit to find those arrow disruption combinations, but at the same time, OG, they're struggling to even find a kill. So despite their farm advantage, they are only slightly ahead at this stage. And another good news for Vici, still that tier 1 is alive after all is said and done. Despite the Axe, Slider able to keep that tower up. That's very impressive.
Yeah, he's willing to tank a lot of damage there for his team, but finds it's still up for now. But No Tail showing up with Metamorph will make quick work of this tower. Slider's like, man, spent so much time and work protecting it from an Axe, and then TB just comes along, ruins his day.
Goodbye tower, but maybe goodbye Ana as well. And this time the chain stun is perfect as Yang combos with FY. The blink
That's the reveal. Yeah. Not expecting that as a Storm. I mean, you know it's like 12, 13 minutes maybe Slider has it, but you're also probably being told like, oh, Slider had a rough lane. He did have a rough lane, but he managed to maintain his farm very decently.
DDC here, gonna prep with a little disruption on the top lane, setting up for an arrow. The Purge comes through, but it's after S4 just shimmy to the north, so he dodges that arrow. Tower now very low, No Tail about to lose the Metamorphosis, and Yang is gonna jump in directly into S4. The Weave is deployed. I believe it hit 2 heroes there, FY as well as Yang, and they continue pursuit, the amp damage, making him very nervous. They do have an Omni Slash available. If they can get in range here, might be able to bring down Fly. Might be able to bring down S4, but they safely retreat, and then a Radiant Scan used to cover the path of that escape. Nobody there. They'll make it away. Ana all the while trying to catch up a bit in the farm department. He is not with the team, off instead in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
And we're going to try a quick reconnect here.
It's alright, not too much happening, I believe, unless we see some kind of pick off, but Slider actually going mid, maybe catches S4. Blink Crush into an arrow, but S4's tanky with the Vanguard. Gets some backup from the Dazzle. Dazzle going to look to turn this one around. It looks like S4 will survive the Blink Crush initiation. They may turn this one around.
Oh, good Earth Splitter coming through. FY, he was slept, and now he's done for. Disruption a bit too late, it looks like. And now onto Yang. Ana's going to find 1, 2, make it 3 kills. He gets credit for 2 of them officially. And it's the 3 least farmed heroes on Vici, but it is still a lot of gold into the OG pockets. They move forward, looking now towards Ghost, who is scouted out. It could get stomped here as well. Trying to squeeze his way back to safety, a bit too far to dive that Naga. And they won't be able to delay her Radiance directly, but they do steal her stack.
This is a good Radiance timing if you can get it at 15, 16 minutes. So Ghost's going to be feeling pretty good about his current level of farm and probably telling his team, look guys, just don't worry too much right now. Yes, this Storm's coming online, finding some kills, but my Radiance is going to be kind of what can turn this game around.
So, with the way things have developed, OG now all but 2 towers taken down, and one of them is a half HP. Actually, excuse me, he did more damage to it, about a 10th HP. Tier 1 in the bottom lane, almost certain to fall in the next minute or 2. So gods, Vici Gaming are really going to be lacking on map control here. Yeah. Still, they've yet to take a tower, and that is a bit of a weakness of the lineup. The only hero that's decent at killing buildings is really the Juggernaut. How do they get back in this game?
Naga split push farm, I mean, this is going to become a typical Naga Radiance game, and that's going to be what kind of delays OG pushing any further. Has to try and push the lanes out. And the really, I think, most interesting about OG and their tower pushing is that they've not pushed a single tower in their safe lane. They have a Terrorblade, and they say, no, we don't care about these 2 bottom towers. They want to take over that dire jungle, because that's where Naga's going to maintain a lot of her farm. And especially the build up towards the Radiance, you need that jungle farm. So they're really trying to slow it down and pressure Vici Gaming by taking those towers around the dire jungle. But we're still going to see a decent time on the Naga Radiance, and yeah, the comeback is really just going to be in the form of a farm Naga Siren for Vici Gaming.
Well, Radiance is coming. Rest of the Vici Gaming squad not doing so hot though in the network department, with Yang falling significantly behind his opponent S4 on the Axe, and of course your Juggernaut, the appropriate counterpart here being on the Storm. Well, it's not even a contest. So, I mean, given that the lane matchups, you certainly, or sorry, I was comparing him to the Storm. I mean the Terrorblade. But either way, like their counterparts are farming very well. Jug, a decent flash farmer. Slidar not so much though, and especially not when he's got that rough Axe 1v1 matchup. So
yeah, and Jug unlikely to find much room to farm when Naga's going to start soaking up more of the farm on the map. You hit the Radiance, suddenly you farm faster and you take more camps. Then you hit the Manta, you're taking even more camps. So as the game goes on, there's going to just be less and less farm allocated towards that Jug.
And it's not really a game where you can expect FY to have an Ags at any kind of reasonable pace. Doesn't have a single component yet, and we're already 18 minutes in, nearly 17 minutes.
He's going to hit an arrow, but he's got to be careful. He's been caught out of it.
Gets the blink call, and now Ana balls in from behind. Now the follow-up, the pull through, good defensive disruption, but Ana, he can just lay down a Remnant here, look to finish him off, and even through the Moonlight Shadow, they will find the kill. OG, a nice pick there. The tower now down. That's 5 towers. As they can zero in on their 6. And meanwhile, top lane, again, the blink calls. It's S4 with the blade now, solo killing, and CYF. Oh, they didn't even need a +1 to make that happen.
I love how S4's probably confirmed, like, I'm going to get this guy with the blink call, just someone TP and back me up. And then he's probably like, oh wait, I can solo kill this guy. No problem, guys. And that's unfortunate for Jug. Just, I mean, TPing over the trees there. Jug doesn't actually see the TP coming in from S4, even though it's on the same tower he's pushing, and easy kill for S4 there. Even without the spins, he would have had the backup to finish off the kill with Honor TPing in.
OG scouting things out now with the Astral Spirit, so it really feels like they begin to cinch the noose at this point. Like, Radiance is online gods, but and you do have a Shadow Demon, so it's annoying Vici Gaming lineup to be sure, but I don't really see those other 3 heroes doing a whole lot. How do they even get out of the base right now? They don't have a great vision hero. There's no Bat Rider, no Beastmaster, and they have no tower. So their ability to project force and control their side of the map feels very limited.
It's only Naga who can really leave the base. Sometimes you play these Jug games where there's nothing to cancel a Blade Fury TP, but there's an Axe this game. So even Jug can't just like solo split push a lane and expect to be able to Blade Fury TP out. He can get caught by an Axe and then he's done for. So just Naga alone can push out lanes, and at this point, Vici Gaming are trapped in their own base. Naga Illusions can leave, but even that, if you're farming just with your Naga Illusions, you're not really you'll grow in farm, but you're not going to get levels. Like Illusions, you need to get like the level 16. Even you just want levels for the stats on a hero like Naga. So right now, OG can just completely starve out Vici Gaming, and this game is going to come down to Vici Gaming making some kind of big smoke play out of their base to take a good fight if they want to try and take this. They can't just expect Naga alone to carry them.
Well, and on the note of starvation, S4 has BOTs, and you combine that with the Astral Spirit, you've got some real mobility for their #1 tempo controller. And not to mention the Storm, as you mentioned already, very mobile around the map. So, Vici Gaming starting to congregate here on the bottom side of the map, but OG are smoked, and they will be ready to greet them. They show only the Storm for now, and they creep in. Astral Spirit can allow for the backstab if they want to go for this, but instead it's the Crush to initiate onto Jarek. Song, follow-up, arrow coming through. The Song not quite right there as he backed away before the arrow connected. Omni Slash, though, will still finish off Jarek. But now the fight breaks out in earnest, falling in onto Ghost. Can they bring down the Naga? She squirms away to the north. It's not going to have it. She falls in DDT, likely to be next, pummeled by nukes from Ana, and he too will fall. So a 2-for-1 with the Song expended. And Storm now up to 15 Bloodstone charges.
Yeah, that's not the fight you want. It was a cute little play from Naga. Naga repositioned with the Song such that they woke up only 1 hero. So ET got woken up while everyone else was still asleep. And he's like, guys, what's going on here? He dies instantly. But realistically, with Metamorph, with Storm, with Axe, as farmed as he is, there was no way Vici Gamer were going to win an actual team fight, even with an early kill on the ET. So
yeah, it's a little harder to time it perfectly with the sidestep as opposed to the just toggle on and off. So a little greedier, I would say, for the Naga. It doesn't work out there. FY now getting balled on, pulled back in. Can Ana finish him? Not quite. He jumps out and away, and S4 re-engages, gives the dunk to FY, slamming him down. And Yang now looking to chase to counterplay this. Has the blink available soon, but currently affected by an urn. The soul release preventing that blink forward, so he gives up the chase, and OG find another kill, another clean disengage, and still that Mirana Eggs a long, long way off.
Yeah, that's unlikely to come at any kind of time that's going to matter for Vici Gaming. And the only way you really farm it and finish it to me is if you somehow have a good, favorable fight. So they use this small little reprieve to try and take back some of their jungle, get a bit of farm on Yang, on End, finish off a 4-star, finish off anything. At this point, Jug just wants probably a Manta style. It's really tough for any kind of item progression to come to these Vici Gaming cores outside of the Naga Siren. And we saw last fight, the Naga Siren only can do so much with just a Radiance.
Meanwhile, S4 continuing those starvation tactics as he will
Just
begin stacking the enemy ancients for OG to farm.
Why not?
It's just a very well-constructed game plan here from OG, and
Yeah.
I struggle to see how Vici get back into it, barring some major blunders.
This is, I mean, the old Vici game with FY Fenrir, when they used to see this dual roam, eventually they stopped doing it because teams figured them out. Like, you don't give them, if they don't snowball and get a ton of early kills, the supports suddenly fall behind massively, and that's exactly what happened this game. All you have to do against this dual roam kind of strategy is minimize the casualties. The dual roam got really one kill the entire early game, like first 10 minutes of this game. It was that one disruption arrow on mid lane. Other than that, bottom lane, they got nothing. There was a kill on top later on, but that wasn't until much later and didn't really have to do with the support's dual roaming. So OG just well-versed in dealing with these aggressive support rotations, and FY and DDC just didn't get the job done this game.
Yeah, there's a gem picked up now on Ghost, so we are going to see Vici Gaming do their best to reestablish a bit of map control here. But still, it's an uphill battle. That's for sure. Manta coming on end. As far as other item progression, you can take a general look around. Ana about to become a real big problem. Orchid about to be picked up with already +4 on the Bloodstone charge count, up to 16. And a double damager in the bottle. He will be very likely to get 2 or 3 kills in the next fight.
Oh yeah, he's scary. They can go on someone like Naga now, pre-Manta style, and burst her down before she can even get a sleep off, potentially, so... This is looking like a game for Storm to really shine in the late game, and then you've just got S4 who needs to just catch a hero or two. TB is just going to be reliably dishing out damage. 4.2k gold on No Tail, so before they go for any kind of game-ending push, he's more than likely going to look to spend that money, pick up a Skadi or pick up some kind of pushing item.
Well, it's the duel of the scans around the Roshan pit. Dire scan will connect towards the tail end there as Fly creeped in. But he's going to still get into position here for a deep ward, securing some vision. Not really the best Roshan lineup for OG, but they do have the Terrorblade, who's decent at least. I imagine if they get a kill, they'll walk into that pit. Nothing doing just yet, though.
They could really just walk in and take Roche fine. They're just scared of like Naga coming, sleeping them, and stealing an Aegis, or... I don't even think Naga can set up a team fight around Roshan for them with sleep. I think it's just like the Aegis still is really the play to make if you're Naga and they go for Roche. But right now, Naga is not even anywhere nearby, just pushing out the top lane, and Roche control very firmly in the hands of OG if they want it. Alright, No Tail. Time to spend some money. It will be a Skadi pickup for No Tail.
Just straight naked Scotty, why not? Well, not naked, but straight up complete purchase, I mean to say.
Yeah, didn't buy any of the stat items or anything. Just deciding whether or not he needed it, and interesting seeing no Dragonlance. Like most Terrorblades, I'm always seeing Dragonlance on, but I guess this game he just felt like the faster Manta style will give him some more pushing power.
I mean, this is ultimately going to be the better like late game build. You don't have to sell that Dragonlance to get a true tier 3, tier 4 item.
Yeah. Dragonlance doesn't help you farm any faster. It just helps you maybe push in a bit of a safer way, but I don't think at any point did he really feel under threat. That he's died 0 times, so and that really says it all.
At any sense of urgency for OG, or do you just feel like they can farm, 30 minutes if they want to before they try and end this game?
No urgency, because Vici Gaming have so little access to farm on the map. Naga's not even pulling ahead of anyone in terms of farm. Jug is staying behind Slaughter. Miranda's not finishing the Ag Scepter in timely fashion. So I think it's just... That's why they even wait to take Roche, because I think they wanted to wait till they had the items they needed to push high ground, and then they'll go. Like, Storm gets the Orchid, even a Plate Mail. No-Tail gets his Skadi, and now they're going to try to put themselves in a position to actually get a lane of racks with Aegis. They just didn't want to take Aegis too early and then be like, oh, we have Aegis, but we're not ready to push.
No-Tail, S4, and Ana all into the pit now. And it seems it will be an uncontested Roche, just a Naga illusion worming her way in, won't even get there in time. No contest, so Storm is going to get a very fast Aegis. With basically like the perfect timing to snowball here. As the Playmail picked up, can work on the Shiva's guard. And has 2 lives to work with as well as the Grave, so potentially 3. This is not looking great for Vici, I gotta tell you guys.
No, it's getting more and more rated. I mean, looking at the net worth graph, the last like 5 minutes has been slightly Vici gaming. Oh, they've got a bit of gold here or there, but it's a bit of a red herring. I mean, there was a tower at some point there that was pushed while Vici gaming, or while OG were elsewhere on the map, and OG just their map control and their itemization right now is such that they can get so much done.
Aether Lens for DDC, Blink for End.
S4 even has the counter to the Jug Omni Slash now with the Yule, so there's no option to like try burst someone like the Axe, who's the hero you can lock down and initiate because of this Yule Scepter.
The one thing Vici do have going for them, I guess, is the Psalm. If you get too cocky diving, maybe they will be punished, but they've got a lot of insurance policies, so it'll have to be an extreme overextension. They put No-Tail up in front, S4 by his side, prepared to bodyguard or initiate as the situation requires, but it's just the Storm who goes in first. With a quick jump onto Yang, gets up the silence. He does manage to blink back. The Psalm is committed to keep Yang in fighting shape. Do they look to turn this? They have not brought the Aegis down. They have not dealt with No-Tail. So now the Song's been committed for very little, just a spot of mana from Ana. And OG start to work on this melee rack. S4 there. The Radiant solutions are a bit of a nuisance as they jump in with Yang to initiate blinking and then forcing away. Gets off the crush, but can't do a whole lot to slow this push down. Now Ana going hard, straight onto DDC, looking for the kill. Will end up finding it together with the Axe, and now they already brought down the melee rack, so they look for a bit more. Jerax getting up the stomp low, but not dead yet. The Grave comes through from Fly to keep him alive, and Yang, he will give chase. The crush, that's on 3. Pretty damn good, but do they have to follow up? No, the counter initiation from S4 holds Ghost in position, keeps that Lady Naga in check, and brings her down in the end, and will unveil the Omni Slash and finally gets the kill. It's only the little Dazzle though. He will pay. Yang again with the crush, again on 3, but no follow-up coming through just yet. Ghost, he has rejoined the fight here. Had to buy back for this. They've already lost the melee racks. They won't even get through the Aegis, let alone get a core kill, and that's it, gods. Disastrous for Vici.
They just get the Dazzle because of an arrow, and a Jug bought a Blink Dagger just for that fight, so the arrow lands on poor Dazzle. Jug's like, sweet, I've got a kill. That's a target that won't be great because he's stunned. Let's take what we can get and kill a poor little Dazzle. Fly's just like, not like this, but OG, very safe, disciplined high ground sieging. That's like the OG staple, and from here, they still have enough duration on this Aegis. If they want to go for another Rax, they have Metamorph in 30 seconds. They can just push once again.
Ana is really not afraid of a whole lot right now. He just blew all his mana to get to the top lane to kill a creep wave. Actually jumped directly over 2 Vici gaming heroes and just goes back to farming. And with 19 Bloodstone charges and an Aegis, why the hell not?
He's actually going to be full mana in about, what, 40 seconds or something, probably. It's not going to take long for him to be back in fighting shape. I was looking at this like, oh, Storm's no mana, he might have to heal up before they push. And I saw his mana regen, I was like, oh wait, no, he's actually more than okay.
And speaking of that mana, he is well above the 50% mark. Just going to spend a little more here to clear out the wave. No-Tail goes back for the Dragonlance after the Skadi Manta.
You know, I think he actually just forgot Dragonlance was in the game. That's my assessment of this. Maybe he just legitimately didn't want to buy the item, but it's such an amazing cost-effective item. He probably just was like, oh, I didn't buy Dragonlance. Whoops. Let's get that.
Meanwhile, Ana, he's remembered what items to buy on his Storm, and he takes full advantage of them. Finds another kill. Shiva's, I believe, flying in on the courier right now. Indeed it is. As OG continue to cruise forward in game 1. Vici looking completely outgunned. The arrow comes through. It's again a nice snipe, but is it going to be enough? Doesn't seem like there's follow-up just yet. FY has the Ags now. And you know, we've seen so many games, gods, especially at TI, where that like 20-minute Ags on a Mirana support just completely turned the game. But is it going to be enough here? It's 31 minutes in. OG a whole lot tankier. FY will look to debut it, jumping under No-Tail, brings him low, but can't finish him off. And No-Tail in the end survives. The GG quickly called. Vici Gaming will tap out. They have been outgunned, outmanned, and outplayed here. Game number 1.
Well, OG, very solid stuff here. This is just. I mean, this is in a lot of ways like a classic OG game. It's a different roster, few new players coming in, but S4 crushing his 1v1 lane as you should as an Axe versus Slider, and then he just came online, took control I mean, that's what S4 wants to do, be able to tempo control, and he was on a hero with great early game farm. Giving him a 1v1 matchup really suited OG because of the fact they just didn't give up any kills in their trial. And that tri lane was really where OG won the game. Giving up no kills to a Shadow Demon Mirana jug lane was just crippling for Vici Gaming.
Well, a great showing here. And OG, overall, I think even coming into this match, both of us, we would have said we favored OG. Vici Gaming looks shaky even in their opening match. And they have not really done anything to dissuade me of that impression moving forward. We've seen great individual play gods, but it has not felt like a consistent, coherent team with like a clear game plan from match
Yeah,
to
we'll,
match.
we'll see if FY's got a game 2 plan. It's one of those things where Vici Gaming, when they've won, it looks like it's been really impressive. Then some of the games where they've fallen short, it's been like, they kind of just, what were they doing a bit? So we'll see if Vici Gaming show up in game 2. There's been a lot of comebacks, like where teams who have lost game 1 went on to win the series. It's happened in a huge number of series here at MDL. So by no means are Vici Gaming out of this one yet.
All right, guys, game 1 in the books. It's a best-of-3 showdown in lower bracket of MDL Autumn 2016 action. We'll continue after this. Stick around. We'll be back.
by OG, so it gives Vici Gaming an extra ban. It also means they get the first pick, which kind of, in some ways, it gives you 2 extra bans, because your first pick can be a hero that is something you play that you take away from OG, and then you also don't have to ban the OD. So by being first pick, they got an extra ban on IO and took the ban away from S4. So that it kind of frees Vici Gaming up a lot when they have first pick in the draft.
10 seconds remaining.
We'll have to see, should we get to that game 3, what they're going to do, because I imagine they probably won't if we get to that point. But
yeah.
OG, they'll worry about that later. For now, looking for the 2-0 closeout. So, I mean, Oracle Kunkka has been a very popular support duo, and I mean, both of them just great in their own right. But OG can do something a bit different here. They'll grab the Sand Cane, who has really only been seen, I want to say, by EG as a support hero for, was it Crit? Or no, sorry, it was Zai, I believe.
Yeah, I think they lost that game too.
They played it twice. They played it once in their opening match as well, which I believe you and I were casting.
10 seconds
But that was on way back on day 1.
Yeah, so Sand King was very popular. He was like the top tier offlaner for a little while, and then seems to have maybe just disappeared some, but he'll make a reappearance here for OG. Kunkka gets grabbed by Vici Gaming. I love Kunkka right now. It's like a hero and what he does. Like he's X marks the spot, and what this allows you to do with like for sending a hero in to go scout, for fountain trips, the setup for your torrent, your boat, setup for your teammates. This spell is just ridiculously good.
He's just he's a fun hero. He encourages like active, aggressive play. There's tons of cool tricks you can use with the X. Yeah, some of them may be a little abusive. I imagine he's going to get some sort of a nerf in 6.89, but nonetheless, he's fun to watch. Like, yeah, maybe he's a little broken, but at least he's like exciting broken, not boring broken. So.
Well, and the thing is, like, if any hero, the thing that's really nice about the patch right now, it's like if you were asked like what 1 or 2 heroes do you have to have nerfed, it's like everyone would give you a different answer because there's no hero that has to like. Kunkka wasn't first picked. If Kunkka is that like OP, why wasn't it first pick? Why didn't OG first 2 pick it? They had 2 picks. It gets 4th picked overall in the draft, and there's no hero that you have to first pick right now. Particularly, maybe like the ET, the OD. This tournament's been the first pick hero, but that's only this tournament. A few weeks ago, OD was irrelevant. So every week or two, it seems like there's a new hero that people are saying, oh, maybe he's a bit too strong. Then a week later, oh, actually, no, he's fine. We just got used to dealing with him.
Yeah, completely agree, and I love the fact that we're at that point. There's been so many patches, pretty much every patch I can recall since I started casting, which is like 4 or 5 years ago at this point. I feel like there was at least one hero which was like the god tier hero of the patch, and sometimes a collection of equally broken heroes. But yeah, I think you're right, Gods. I don't know if there is that one hero anymore. There's like a short list probably of like 5 to 10 who are the most annoying, but the way the drafting phase works, some of them will get through every game, so you can't really say that, you know, one needs to be nerfed but not the other. So yeah, I mean, I think Sniper needs a buff, you know, I'm just going to come out and say it.
I want to see Enigma buffs, man. That's on my short list of heroes I want to see buffed is Enigma.
Yeah, you and Toby both.
I think that hero just needs a little something. Not a big buff, just something to make some quality of life buffs. My theory is that you got to give the Eidolons more move speed. Those things move too slow in the jungle, and they're too easy to kill in lane if you're trying to lane Enigma. But that's for another time. I don't think we'll be seeing much Enigma this tournament, sadly.
A man can dream, but
this is going to be like the first time ever in competitive Dota Enigma's like considered probably at the bottom tier of Dota heroes.
Yeah.
I don't know which hero is at lower tier. Maybe like Techies is lower tier than Enigma, but I'd say Enigma's at like the very bottom 10 of heroes right now.
You know, EG was running it in the build up to TI pretty effectively.
Yeah.
Playing as like that 4-position jungler quite a bit.
It just seems like nowadays the farming junglers don't. If you want to do a farming jungler, you're better off doing like a Beastmaster because you get level 6 and you gank and push towers. Enigma can kind of gank and push towers, but it doesn't compare to a Beastmaster. Beastmaster is just like 10 times better than Enigma.
And a lot safer too. You know, the ultimate is guaranteed to be useful. He has way more effective DPS in the mid game with the Necro Book, and it doesn't necessarily scale better, but has an easier time getting to the point where he's a late game force, I would say, overall. And he gives you vision, which is, you know, a much more reliable vision, which is something Enigma doesn't really bring to the table. So.
Anyways, hopefully I've cast a curse this game such that we'll see an Enigma. That's the play.
Yeah,
here.
That ain't gonna happen. Oh gee, look at this. Alchemist the grab. And a tanky core to be sure with the Oracle behind him. Is worth mentioning, I think, that with this Oracle being picked up, we did see the Huskar grab yesterday from EG. Didn't work out, but always gotta be aware in the back of your head that if you don't have any ways to deal with Huskar, maybe the 4th, 5th pick he could come out.
Yeah.
5 seconds
Always
remaining.
cool thing about OG picking Alchemist is they're the ones who kind of innovated the fighting style of Alchemist that
Reserve
is
time.
very, very strong. So something you have to not always be totally sure of when you see the OG pick Alchemist. It's like, oh, they're just going to play the typical Radiance, Manta, Octarine, Boots of Travel, farm up, get 6 slowed by 30 minutes, or are they actually going to run at you and fight, go for like a fast Solar Crest, max the stun early, and take engagement. So they can be flexible with this pick. But if it's Honor playing in the mid lane, I imagine it's going to be the more farming style, but they could always put it on No-Tail. He played that fighting style himself sometimes.
So pick number 3 for Vici. And they have the Yang Bat Rider. Have not really seen them ever run this on any other player. So I think you can set your watch by the fact it will be Yang playing it. The Kunkka, already one of their supports grabbed, still looking for the ZYF hero. His Juggernaut removed. We've seen them go back to Terrorblade quite a bit for him when Jug's out of the picture. And I think they've had good success with the hero, but you are pushing into a scary lineup, gods, with the Acid Spray, the Blink Epi later on, and Vici,
Oh, very Husker.
well,
OG
they just
turn
snag
to
him right away. OG, they don't have
deny
great
it.
physical damage at this point. Alk is more of like an AoE kind of tanky DPSer, not really like a single target right clicker.
Once he gets like 6 slotted, he can kind of deal with Husker if he's free farm, but that's you got to get there first. And Husker, I'm curious whether this is like a block deny pick. OG pick up a counter immediately. They grab the AA, but VG Gaming may have been scared of OG getting Husker with the Alchemist, like a fighting Alchemist with Husker and Husker Oracle. I mean, Husker Oracle, that's like the ultimate Husker cheese.
OG's turn
They could
to
Dazzle
bat.
too. I mean, AA is just like the hero. And it's one of those things where, yeah, he counters Dazzle, he counters Husker, but you have to look at the hero's weaknesses as well. And that is a kind of weak laning stage. You're very reliant. If you don't hit the Ice Blast, you're effectively playing 4v5 because the hero does very little else other than throw Ice Blast. So you've got to land the spell. And if Vici Gaming can grab an Aegis, yeah, maybe you die
5
once
seconds
as Husker to the
remaining.
Ice Blast, but then you can re-engage and fight outside of the Ice Blast. So by no means is it like, okay, they've got AA, they've won the draft, they've got to execute and play well around the Ice Blast.
It is a solution to some extent, but by no means a full
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
And you've got like you've got the Kunkka, so your Huskar can kind of go in more safely with X and then be pulled back out if
10
need be.
seconds remaining.
Vici, I guess the one thing that concerns me a little bit is they have the bat to initiate, maybe the X torrent, but it's really only the Huskar that dishes out the damage in these fights for now, and
Yeah.
a lot of it
Because-
is magic damage, so they'll need some physical, I think, with this last pick.
Yeah, they want another core to go with their lineup. The Lifestealer would have been good just because it's a natural BKB hero against the Sanking AA, which is something I imagine Vici Gaming are looking at with their 5th pick. Without the Lifestealer, they probably have to go for something either range that can sit back like a Terrorblade or something that can run on him with a BKB and just man fight them. And
5 seconds
we'll see what kind of options Vici Gaming take. They banned the Sven.
Radiant team pick.
Worried about a farming style lineup from OG and even a potential aggro trailing. You look at like Sven AA Oracle. That's a scary lane to deal with if OG want to apply pressure.
Definitely feels like in the mid game
10
they'll be
seconds
looking for
remaining.
that. So, Vici Gaming, what's your
5 seconds remaining.
last pick here? Ursa. Almost feels like a block
OG's
pick
turn to
as much
pick.
as anything else. I've seen a lot of Ursa picks to
Interesting.
counter Huskar. Albeit, I don't
Interesting.
think he's great against Bat Rider Kunkka, but
Yeah. It must be something they thought would work though, because they wanted a fighting carry,
10
something that doesn't
seconds
get burst by the magic damage, and I guess with the Enrage Ursa works pretty
5
well.
seconds
but Oracle is
Hmm.
really good against Ursa, so
Yeah.
it's a good counter to Alk, I think, in a vacuum. But speaking of counters, the counter has been countered
Oh.
as well. So now Razor gets grabbed. Someone that is okay against Huskar. You don't really want to go on him. You can sap quite a bit of your damage. Interesting draft, gods. It feels like a lot more counter picking with this one than what we
Yeah.
normally see. Normally teams have their own like draft identity and they just kind of roll with it. But we see the Huskar to counter heavy magic damage. Then we see the A to counter the Huskar, the Dazzle kind of pick to protect the Huskar, the Ursa pick to counter the Alchemist, the Razor pick to counter the Ursa, and maybe the Huskar.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah, it
feels
was
like a
pick,
game of
counter
counter
pick.
picking.
And even picks to block your opponents from picking it. Like I feel Vici Gaming perhaps picked the Husker to stop OG getting Husker. It's very different approach to this draft from both the teams. I feel Vici Gaming were maybe too reactionary. The only OG pick that was really reactionary was mostly the AA. The Razor, of course, is a good counter to some extent against Ursa and Husker, but I think that Razor's the kind of hero that we're seeing a lot of play anyway. So I think Vici Gaming maybe overreacted to what they were seeing a bit from OG.
Have a pause here as things start off, and oh man, this is gonna really test our knowledge of who's who. As I do have to fix my settings again. So, how confident are you feeling in your Dota detective work, gods? That is my question.
About which player is which?
So we've got it's No Tail playing the Razor and
Yeah,
Ana
No-Tail
on the
Razor.
Alk.
That's right.
Ana on the Alk. We've got Fly on the Oracle. And
Actually, that's no Fly's on AA. Let's
Fly's
say
on the AA.
I looked at the two supports and I was like, wait, these are both Fly heroes. But yeah, Toshi is Fly.
okay, so Fly on the AA, and then Jerex on the Oracle.
Jerex, yeah.
And that does leave S4 on the offlane Sand King.
Correct.
On the side of Ichi Gaming, well, this one's easy. We have Yang on the Bat Rider. I think it's End playing the Ursa. Is it End playing the Ursa?
All right, is it easy? Yeah, who's playing mid? Who's playing safe
Not sure
lane?
about the cores. Believe FY on the Kunkka, and then God, who's the other support player? DDC, right? On the Dazzle. Is it DDC?
Yeah, DDC.
Okay.
DDC
I mean,
Dazzle,
honestly,
FY.
between the roster shuffle and not being able to see their actual names, I'm surprised they even got like 3 of those.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the cores and see who's playing which one, but
Okay.
there's Steam Pro. Okay, so Ghost is playing the
Ghost.
Husker.
Ghost, that's right.
He's playing the Husker, yeah.
Okay.
So Ghost on Husker, which means End is playing Ursa. So End is going mid lane, it looks like, which is a bit of a switch up between Ghost and End. I say that we haven't actually we can't totally tell based on their items just yet. Husker and both have Windlace on both, Stout Shield. I mean, both of these kind of items could be for mid or safe lane, I suppose.
Yeah, and it's gonna be Windlace Ursa with only 1 salve against the Razors. That's a pretty annoying lane if it is indeed the Razor mid, which kind of looks like for now.
It's one of those things where having Boots or a Windlace against as a melee hero against Razor doesn't really help because you're going to go in melee range to the last hit, so he's still going to steal a decent amount of damage even if you have higher move speed. It's more for those like Razor versus OD matchups where Boots means he's not stealing any damage, but I guess it's better than nothing, and we'll see how he can handle this mid lane. He's going to need some help, I imagine, but if he's going towards that mid lane, we could see Husker swap it up, but it looks like Husker Ghost is going to be trying to take on the Sand King.
Well, we have the Kali, not to be confused with the Kale, perhaps missing Trixie.
Yeah, that's to say, isn't that Trixie's?
That was a secret Trixie shout out by none other than Mr. Johan, Mr. No Tail.
The paying homage to his old Fnatic buddies.
So, do you think this is gonna catch Vici Gaming off guard, the fact that the Alk is safe lane? Because normally the Alk goes mid, and I'm guessing that's probably why they wanted the Ursa pick, was for that lane matchup, as well as just to deal with the Alk later on.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Vici Gaming are going to be thrown off by these lanes, because very, very rarely will you see an Alk safe lane. That's like almost unheard of in some ways, but the plan for OG has got to just be stack the jungle, give Alk this free farm safe lane with Greevil's Greed, and then have a bunch of neutral stacks for him to fall back to. A is a hero that actually wants to get a fast level 6, so they can send the Alk to the jungle once he hits level 6, level 7, and have AA get the solo lane up top. And with this support duo, Oracle AA, they can keep the Batrider out of the lane such that Alchemist can free farm. It's a curious move from OG, but one where they will have a laning advantage, it looks like.
Well, for those of you just joining us, we can talk a little bit about where we are in the tournament. We are currently in the lower bracket, so we've got a decent pause here. The winner of this match is going to be playing the winner of our next series. That's Secret versus LGD.Forever Young, who took care of IG Vitality yesterday. And meanwhile, to continue the day's action, we're going to stop off in the winner bracket finals. Newbie taking on EG. Should be a great match. And then to round things off, we do play, I believe,
the winner
the lower
of the first
bracket
two
round
series,
3. So yeah,
Yeah.
the winner of this versus the winner of that Secret versus LGD.Forever Young match. And then going into tomorrow, we just have the lower bracket finals and the grand finals. So only a couple more matches to go before we get to that final day, but they should be good ones. As we unpause, we get underway here. Yang looking to secure this top rune. No crazy smoke level 1 shenanigans this time around. We'll see Fuzzy Wuzzy creeping up and DDC backing him up for now.
5-man top from OG. They're ready to make sure this Alchemist gets his rune, and Huskar's not there. This is a fight OG should come out on top of. It's whether or not they decide to fully commit to it. They don't know exactly where Husker is, maybe.
Especially with Chilling Touch if they skill it.
Yeah,
this is very
rune
risky.
secured.
Yeah, you have Ursa, Dazzle. It's like a pretty strong duo, but that's really bad at level 1. Huskar's not there. Not worth it.
Out gets the Greevil's Greed rune. He takes us away from the poor No-Tail in the mid lane, but that's going to be No-Tail's role when he's played with Miracle and now Honors to perhaps play that 2 position.
I'm wondering.
Carry.
I'm wondering like what we're gonna see out of the Alk, because generally the main reason why you see the Alks mid is A, they want the levels. We'll see some pressure here on the mid lane. And B, they want the rune access so they can get those bounty runes. Is he gonna spend more time walking to the rune if they think there might be a bounty there, or are they just gonna kind of forgo that and accept their Alk will have less farm?
It might be. It's definitely worth it to hope for a bounty rune because you get so much gold from it as an Alk. Top lane, jeez, this may actually be kills. Another torrent.
Oh, it's a 2-man special. Beachy Gaming getting to work nice and early as FY slaughters them, and this is one of the issues with Alk as a carry is he's not a very strong laning carry, especially at the early level, so they're just going to look to punish. In fact, they might be going for a bit more here, moving on to Ana on the Alk and forcing him back and away.
This is also in some ways the weakness of the AA pick because this is not a amazing support duo. They, in theory, good in the laning stage because of the Chilling Touch, but when it's a dual lane and when you're playing on the defensive, AA has 0 defensive capabilities. He's only really good providing some extra damage output with Chilling Touch. So on the back foot, Batrider and Kunkka can actually run all over this AA. AA Oracle are going to have a really tough lane if the Kunkka sticks around in this top lane. So this is where the AA pick can be a bit of a liability for OG.
And meanwhile, this time
they just get a kill. Okay, that helps them.
Okay. Oh, Bat got picked off. Sorry about that, guys. But meanwhile, Huskar is actually getting farm. We've seen 2 Huskar games now where he was not really given a good start in this tournament, but he will free farm in the safe lane. So the one lane that convincingly goes well for OG, or should go well, is the Razor versus Ursa. But, you know, Ursa with the Thunderclap, the Earth Shock, he can actually CS reasonably well. Yeah, maybe he gets denied and doesn't win the lane, but if you want to level up the Earth Shock, you can at least collect a decent number of creeps, and now they're going to bring the supports on to help.
It's a tri-lane. It's a tri-lane
mid. Let's go. They're going to X, forward to follow, and Big Daddy, well, he's crying for Daddy right now. He gets sent packing back to the fountain. Not a whole lot you can do once you get caught there, but he did see them walk in. He had an observer ward and just underestimating that X initiation.
Yeah, he had all the info he needed. Just getting caught there, not something you can afford to let happen. So a bit of a misplay from No-Tail, but Laney's just going to have to come back to, and his goal this game is really to keep those supports busy as possible so Alchemist can bring them. That's what we're seeing. Alchemist, 2 points in Greevil's Greed, farming away up top. He's likely going to have a pretty good time. Already has the Soul Ring Brown Boots up, so, and has stacks being built in his jungle form as well.
Meanwhile,
he's actually picking them, like, stack some more, guys. Come on, what are you doing?
Yeah, get me that gold, please. So far...
Is Razor dead again? This Ursa has Brown Boots. I think Razor actually may just die.
Yeah, even with the wind, it's going to need 2 more auto attacks, maybe 3, but does pop that Fairy Fire, so it would have been at least 3 more. Not able to secure the kill, but hey, he forces him out of the lane. Not too shabby. And now, meanwhile, top lane moving in. They've got the Torrent. The follow-up can come through in the form of the Firefly. And as you said, there is nothing an AA can do. This is why we generally see the Alki in the safe lane, or sorry, in the mid lane, so he's not so easy to gank. And doesn't have to deal with this kind of pressure as they now chase forward, looking to try and make the move here onto Fly, and they get a perfect flame break. The follow-up Torrent can come through in a couple of seconds. They will give up the chase, but they can turn back on this Oracle if he's not careful. And they may just do that with the heal from DDC. Arrives. Constant lane swaps from Vici are keeping OG guessing. And all the while, Huskar just quietly free-farming his way towards that fast armlet. And already S4 Gods, he has abandoned the lane. He's actually gone for the 2 points in Sandstorm. Normally we've seen that Caustic build, but that's also been mostly on the core Sand Canes. And of course, as a when you have a decent 1v1 matchup, and clearly he does not this game.
Once Husker brings out a Sentry, initially S4 had the Sentry, they actually got the D-Ward on the lane, but once Husker has a Sentry himself, you can't lane against him. You don't get anything out of the Caustic, and it's just a lane that doesn't work at all for him.
Yeah, I guess the main issue here is that it means that he's going to have a harder time dishing out like reliable damage in team fights. The Caustic really does add up in ganks, and if you're able to apply it on multiple creeps, but he's going to be relying almost entirely on just Burrow Strike and then the team to follow up to make things happen.
This game just feeling a bit similar to that Drow puck game we saw from OG, where they just try to go a bit too next level with their lanes and their draft, and it kind of backfires a bit. Like, this is why you don't see Alchemist too often in the safe lane farming position, because he just doesn't have any ability to pressure the enemy offlaner. And same for the AA. Like, this AA Alchemist is a very weak lane, and that's something that Bat Kunkka have exploited.
Well, No Tail, he had a few seconds remaining on his Observer Ward, so I believe did see the Kunkka movement, but now that ward has died, and Kunkka already hunting for the Alchemist X. So FY trying to gather some intel on exactly what's lurking here, maybe looking for the Sand King. But S4 is headed towards mid now, has the level 2 Burrow. So a bit better as far as initiation range, but not too great. And they're trying to bait this. They're hoping that they'll come in, and in fact, Vici Gaming have cooperated, but can they find a kill on the way out? The Plasma Field coming through. Looks like the Ursa will drop. Shallow Grave is not yet skilled, already a level 3 Dazzle, but no points in the grave, so not able to save Fuzzy Wuzzy. Good bait there with the last second of vision for OG.
Yeah, nicely played, knowing that gank's coming, and just not even, they used their smoke not even to try and wrap around and be the ones starting the fight. They wanted to be the ones reacting to the aggression.
Oh, No Tail, he stopped for one auto attack and almost got torrented.
There's 2 torrents in a row barely missing from FY.
Well, now
Back to the mid lane comes Ursa.
Well, now dog it back to the well. But overall, it seems like Vici still having the significant edge here. They're getting every single lane. The cores are doing reasonably well, getting levels, getting farm, and most importantly, and a completely unchecked Huskar is on track for like that 8-9 minute armlet timing, which is very difficult to deal with.
Yeah, Sanking's trying to take this stack, but here comes the torrent. Uh-oh.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, S4? And now the dunk forward, trying to keep him in check as he burrows on top of the camp and then gets pulled right back by the X. Will end up going down. Meanwhile, Husker.
Whoa. Oh.
Did he spend his gold? I don't think so.
I don't think so. He just kind of stood there tanking the hits for half a second. I think he was confused where the... I lost vision of the Sand King because he got X back and was like underneath the neutral, but for some reason the neutral didn't hit him, so he died to the Burning Spears, and I think Husker was as confused as I was, because that was very weird the way that X pulled him back.
Yeah, and he held on to it for a little bit, and just waiting for that burrow out. S4 was, it looked like he was maybe just going to run and try and wait out the X, and then ended up going a bit earlier and just not on the same page. Vici Gaming give up a death to the neutral, so nothing given to OG, but it will delay that armlet as he rage dunks the catapult, trying to get even. That's like punching a pillow, though. It's not very effective.
Bat's level 7 with Tranquil Drum in the off lane. Holy moly. This guy's out of control. There are 3 heroes up here, though, so it needs to be a little bit careful.
And meanwhile, it looks like End and DDC are going to smoke up towards top. Let's see, what's the room going to be?
Going towards the Bat Rider's
now
lane is definitely useful, considering how strong this Bat Rider is right now. They're expecting Alk to be farming stacks. They're kind of just guessing in the wrong place right now, though, so they won't find him initially.
It was not scouted by the looks of things, but rather just the ping, like, oh, hey, they might have got a rune there from Fly, but it's only the bounty. And, oh, Fuzzy Wuzzy. He's going to find Fly, and Fly, he's going to pay. Just helpless against an Ursa running in at him. And
that's fine. It's better him than the Alk or someone. Like, the Alk was actually just farming in a kind of unpredictable place for Vici Gaming, and he was much closer to the lane than they thought, because they would that's the kill they were looking for. They don't want to kill like the AA there. Doesn't really give them anything. It's a smoke game committed. They're not even going to follow it up with a tower, so that was really wasted time from Vici Gaming with that smoke gank.
But it does buy time for Huskar to get his armlet, so still a decent timing for this at 9 minutes in. Alk is free farming overall, but this could change, gods. With the drums picked up on the Bat Rider, of Yang, and the constant movement of the Ursa. It seems like the game plan is to absolutely run at OG non-stop, but they are ready for these rotations. A quick TP out brings them back to safety. Meanwhile, FY moving on mid, has the Torrent, the X, and not going to go. Instead, they will TP away, and nothing to cancel this, so I think correctly identifying that was not going to work out. Probably would have lost one had they not TP'd him away.
Again, looking for this Alchemist. Batrider's just trying to take some of his stacks. He is all up there on his own for now, but... Alright, now S4 very slow on his Blink Dagger. We're not going to be seeing that anytime soon, so they've got to help buy time for Alchemist to farm his Radiance without having the ability to start fights with a Sanking Blink. They haven't got the A Ice Blast. That's really where OG can try take some fights and get pickoffs and create spaces using the Sanking plus AA ultimate to get kills, but instead they're going to do it with smokes, and they're going to try that bottom lane to gank the Husker.
Great hero to kill if they can do it, but backup is there in the form of DDC. The two-hero Burrow not going to connect. DDC just backing a bit too far away. S4 wanted a piece of him, not going to get it, but they managed to bring him down anyway, and now DDC may also pay. He's got one heal to go, but they let out that Fortune's End to lock him in position, finishing him off too. The lasso goes on to the Razor, dragging him under the tower already. A gambit, a great win for OG. Huskar forced to buy back, and they all scramble away to safety, even committing a smoke to try and move down to the bottom lane, which will come up all blank. So overall, OG hugely satisfied with that.
Yeah, the Husker buyback and everything. I mean, this is...
We've seen a lot of this out of
away
Ghost
while
gods.
this is all going on, but they are going to wrap around and look for him.
They are going to try to move in now. Huskar, no blink, just has to charge on in. Gets the vision, but like, hey guys, coming through, don't mind me. Got any honey? No? Alright. See ya. But a completely wasted effort, a lot of wasted time. An AA Ice Blast. Oh, could maybe kill off Huskar. I think he's dead. It's going to be close.
Armlet's off. With the armlet off, he should be fine.
Yeah, he turned it off like right before the AA ult connected, so he'll be okay. But now the Torrent fishing. FY unable to connect on that. Has the X follow up. He's going to X into a boat, and they are going to look to dive this here. With the Ice Blast on cooldown, Huskar can play a lot more aggressively, and they will muscle their way straight through. Sorry, did I say fly? I meant Jerax on that Oracle. We'll bring him down. Meanwhile, S4 lurking in the trees. And Mr. Fake Name is going to be extremely dead here. Tries for the two-hero Burrow. Good play by him. Still he'll fall, and see you later, Huskar. A dieback for him, out of the game for 50 seconds. He'll get to think long and hard about whether that buyback was truly worth it. They do get the tower, but it comes at great cost.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose Husker like this. That's like their big hero that they kind of want to have. I guess Ursa's kind of in a similar boat where you want this hero to just find kills, get a bit out of control, and Ursa will have his Blink Dagger, but Husker dying as he is, and they're not finding the kills on the Alchemist. Alchemist is farming Ancient Stacks with Acid Spray and Grieval's Greed. This is looking just like an Alchemist that's gone a bit too unchecked, and Vici Game, it's not that they haven't tried to find those kills, it's just they've never really been in the right place when they've gone for the smoke rotations.
Oh, great individual performance from Yang this game. Given a decent start, he's already 3-1-2, has a blink with the drums at 12 minutes, and he's done it by contesting the Alchemist, contesting the Razor. He's not been that passive farming Batrider. He's been very involved this game. Definitely a stalwart bulwark to keep the team in fighting shape here.
He's been the standout player. His laning with some of FY's help, and he took that advantage and really got a lot done. So he's been perhaps the glimmer of hope for this team. He goes in again. He's looking for another kill at top, but Oracle is
too low.
Not the easiest kill to get. Yeah.
No lasso either. I mean, overall, like to me, the big issue has just been Ghost this game, Gods. The unnecessary death to the neutrals, the buyback, and then the death under the tower.
Yeah.
He almost died to that first Ice Blast anyway. It's a free farm safe lane Huskar who's 4th in net worth. That simply should not happen.
He got a tiny bit unfortunate with that first gank when A was level 4 and they ganked him and he died. He got graved. If he managed to get unstunned, he could have turned his armlet back on. That's where the Husker Dazzle is really good. You're graved, you're low HP. You can armlet toggle while you're graved without dying. But unfortunately for Husker, he was stunned and he couldn't turn his armlet back on. If he got that armlet off, he could have just probably got a triple kill there.
Oh, Notel's going to be a support real soon at this rate. Another death for him, but they're not ganking the Alchemist. I suppose that's the one piece of good news for OG. Still, it is
rough games for Husker. It's been a rough game for Notel.
It's the haves and have-nots, and on the back of that, Vici Gaming, maybe towards the Roach Pit. No, they want the tier 1 mid first. Huskar sieging it out. Ghost up in front. He'll be joined here momentarily by End, who has completed the blink. We saw that debuted, and back to the Roche he goes. So they've got two heroes that are great at killing Roche, and they will look to use it with the Ice Blast cooling down. But I think it'll be up before they complete this.
And you can take Roche while pushing a T1 tower. Very, very nifty, but like you say, the Ice Blast coming up and Fly, he's throwing it. They may be able to contest this one.
No blink on Sankey, but this Ice Blast is really going to hurt. It hits 4 heroes. They will have to wait it out, and meanwhile, they're going to try to punish this elsewhere as Kunkka gets caught out. Epicenter coming through, but a good grave from DDC. Turn the tide to this fight. Huskar just mans up, jumps right in, and into the Bat Riders' waiting arms. They will go try to focus down the Alchemist. The time being, Oracle's been able to keep him alive. Gets off that armlet toggle, but is it going to be enough? He's pulled back into the waiting arms of the Fire Spears. They'll bring him down. So Alk finally hits the deck after sticking around for most of the game up until now. And it's in the end an excellent coup for Vici, who are even looking for a bit more here. They may yet find No Tail. He lurks around the trees. Roche extremely low. Seems this Roche will be theirs, but another Ice Blast, perhaps not. He could get 2, maybe 3 with this. Oh, Kunkka surviving. Ursa limping out. I think the Bat Rider at the very least
dead.
takes
Ursa,
down.
I think, is dead also.
Ursa, the
both
double
dead.
kill from Fly. And now Kunkka gonna take a free fountain trip home and
Roche is so low.
think
OG
about
gonna
how
get
sad this fight is. I can't believe it, but Fly is actually winning them the Roche fight after not getting any kills with the first Ice Blast. The second one does the trick. That said, though, now there's no Ice Blast, and Huskar wants to go back in. Boat crashing through is going to connect, brings down the Sand Kid of S4. Still, they hold the Huskar in position. He is surviving for the time being. They've got a Grave available. Dazzle can't get it off, even on himself. The courier almost dies in the midst of this, trying to deliver that Dragonlance. Will manage to do so, but now FY, he's going to pay more of a dog than a god in this one, and 4 have fallen. It's up to Huskar. He tries to man up. Ghost, he's been called a fantastic pub star. Can he do it 1v4? No siree. He'll make it a complete 5-man wipe, and an Aegis thrown away. Disaster at the pit. A celebratory self-stun from Ana
That's
to round
just
things out.
bloody disaster. The Ice Blast there, it's crazy because Vici Gaming like win that first fight when they all get Ice Blast in the pit because there's a fight where Ice Blast is down. Like once you've been hit by the Ice Blast and then the fight breaks out after the Ice Blast wears off, Vici Gaming were actually fine even though they were down to half HP. Huskar does fine. He doesn't care if he's low HP. As long as he's not Ice Blasted, he can fight when he's low HP, and that's exactly what happened. But then the fight drew on too long. Another Ice Blast comes up. They get hit in Roshan, and OG capitalize.
I really can't believe that Ghost went back in there. There's no way he's killing all of them at half health. 1v4. Has no vision into the pit. It seems like he's tilting, to be honest.
That was some very questionable shot calling from Vici Gaming. When 2 heroes die while roshing because they get hit by an Ice Blast with no other follow-up spells, like mistakes have been made.
They have not managed really to stem the bleeding whatsoever, but they'll try for it now. They move on to S4, but he just burrows away. The X deployed after the fact, so they're going to have to commit a lasso if they want this kill. Oracle has already used the false promise, so they're able to at least keep S4 in check. Under the tree line for now, a follow-up X coming through onto that Oracle, but still the heals are keeping the Sand King alive. Someone finished him off for VG Gaming. They finally will, but a 2-hero Alk stun crashes in. Grave is there on the Huskar. Used relatively early. He can armlet toggle back on if he wants to go, but Alk has the Radiance now. The evasion could be a problem. So they, at long last, get a clean fight. Well, it wasn't clean in execution maybe, but was clean in terms of the results. Still, Alchemist hasn't really died enough, gods. He is way up there when it comes to net worth.
I mean, Alchemist is doing incredible, but I'm still concerned for OG just because I look around, I'm like, they still haven't got a Sand King blink. Sand King, let's talk about No Tail having a rough game. S4 has been bullied. He is sitting on the lowest net worth of his team. He's on 300 gold. He's nowhere near a blink dagger. He got demolished in lane, and since then he's just been unable to really be effective on this Sand King, and that's a big problem for OG. They can't just have a farmed Alchemist. They need at least their other cores to have some items, like the Blink Dagger, and that's something S4 just hasn't found the space to farm.
Oh, Alk does get scouted out here, but the Ice Blast comes in. Stun is there. Grave will be deployed, but I don't know if this Huskar is going to make it out. That Grave's going to wear off, and he will be dropping momentarily. Pops in the end as the Razor moves forward, looking for a follow-up kill. No Tail surging after DDC. Can he get in range of that Dazzle? Needs like 2-3 more auto attacks. Will only get 1. So DDC will escape and live to fight another day, but Huskar with 5 deaths. Feels like he's I mean, I do feel like they can deal with an Alkin of vacuum gods, like Ursa as well as Huskar. Not too shabby, especially the Ursa, but with this many deaths on the Huskar, you do start to wonder.
Yeah, this is starting to get a bit out of control, and that's only kind of the saving grace is when you look at the other side and you're like, oh, well, Razor's not really doing all too well. Neither Sand King. They're probably thinking like, yeah, we've had a bad game on a lot of our cores, but they're also going to find an Alchemist skill. That really kind of helps fix some of the problems for Vici Gaming right now, but they look at S4 and still see no Blink Dagger 90 minutes, and they're probably thinking, okay, OG can't really play aggressive and create space for Alchemist without that Blink Dagger, and that makes life a whole lot easier.
So they have gone for triple Force Staff and double Blink Dagger here on Vici Gaming. Even Ursa grabbing a Force. This is just all about being able to chase and hunt OG around the map. They do not want to just be trading farm.
Yeah.
And this will
Force
give
Staff
them that.
great against the Razor static link, so I guess that's one of the big reasons there. But bottom lane, where's the Ice Blast? It's coming in. Huskar. Uh-oh.
Not again. They're going to try to keep him alive here. The Ice Blast connects Epicenter, that 4-step to bring him back to safety. The boat deployed. FY with the save, and they can look to turn this around if OG stay. But OG will back away.
Well played, FY. That 4-staff, much needed. And Sand King was praying for that kill just so he could get his Blink Dagger up, but won't be so lucky.
The struggles continue for S4. He has managed to eclipse his own Oracle, at least. Barely at that.
Yeah. I mean, A's doing great. A's
Yeah, he got
really
a
high
Midas.
level with
He's
this
on his way to an
Midas.
Ags. Ags is really good against both Huskar as well as Ursa, because normally Ursa's will get lifesteal. Granted, he hasn't yet this game, but that Ice Blast is going to negate your ability to stand strong in the team fights.
Yep.
And with an Ags, it'll be an extremely long duration
It's gonna be a
block
pretty
on the
sad,
lifesteal.
ineffective dazzle with the duration of the Ag Scepter too, if he can get it.
Do you favor either team? Like, if it's kind of continuing at this pace, kill here or there, Alchemist still farming a lot, like heading towards the late game gods? Or?
This game is so weird. This has been such a sloppy game from a lot of the players. Like, the Batrider has played flawlessly. This honestly looks like this Batrider is like the 9k MMR player in like a 5k MMR game or something right now because of a lot of the misplays happening. But I favor OG just because of the Alchemist. The Huskar Ursa are meant to be more dominant in at this stage of the game, and it doesn't feel like Vici Gaming are crushing just yet. They need to really up the ante and start playing some fast-paced Dota and taking objectives. Otherwise, Alchemist will win the late game.
OG hanging out in the bottom lane while they leave it up to Ana to go farm the top. He has completed BOTs. Yasha also online on his way to a Manta. So overall, Alchemist still farming well. By far the leader. And it will instead be a rotation on the mid. They reveal their Razor for the time being. For the moment, Jarek's also behind him, but OG very content to take things slow. They really want that Sand King Blink. They want their Aghanims on AA. They know there's a lot more room for Alchemist to farm, and they are not the team in any kind of hurry.
Yeah. And Alchemist is farming well, but it's not like the free farm Alchemist. I mean, it looks like it is when you see his net worth double the Batrides and stuff, but Alchemist, like a good Alchemist game, you're 6 slotted by 29-30 minutes, and I think Honor's a little bit further behind that rate. We'll see how he develops from here, but the Manta style not up just yet, and still working on that, so it's a little slower than normal Alchemist farm, but considering this game and the aggression from Vici and the fact Vici Gaming don't have a good farming late game carry, he's doing just fine.
The conga line into the woods. As Vici Gaming look for their setup, and Fly calling out that they are off near the secret shop, but in fact they're coming from the other direction, and it could be a clean ambush here, but the Burrow Strike is faster. S4 manages to get the 2-hero stun off. Ursa just running past this. They force-step themselves out to safety away from the Ice Blast, and will retreat. Ice Blast now on cooldown for 30 seconds. A small window if they want to try to push, and they're going to make full use of it here, sending the Bat Rider of Yang back to Keel very quickly. They still have a lasso available, but Boat was committed. The Ice Blast will be online by the time they get to the tower. It's just such a small cooldown to really like be able to fight around it effectively if you're Vici.
Yeah, they'll be ready to go again on the OG side. The Blink Dagger's still not quite there, but Ice Blast coming up. The Invis Ursa, though, will scout out everyone.
Could be huge. He also sees a Courier. It is carrying the Mantle Cell. He's going to let that run past. Maybe he snipes it on the way out, or does he go for heroes?
He wants the AA, I think.
Jumps in off the bat on the fly, slams him down, and now Huskar can reign supreme in this fight. They bring back the Alchemist. That forces out a fly buyback. Vici were expected. They were already looking to retreat as rapidly as possible. Still the lasso's available. Force staffing away to safety. Self-grave. Will we see a TP? Ursa mans up with the clap for the moment, trying to slow down the chase. Gets off the boat, keeping the Sand King out of the picture. They will end up losing the Dazzle as well as the Ursa. 2 chunk down off of that buyback. That's without an Ice Blast even cast. Well, it was the intimidation buyback more than anything.
Yeah. It's a good buyback because it forces Vici Gaming to go on the retreat, and yeah, the AA buyback didn't contribute to them getting those kills directly. It was more the indirectly because Vici Gaming, Husker would have turned to fight if there was no AA alive. He's almost immortal with AA on the sidelines, but with AA buying back, Husker has to play defensive and can't fully engage. Luckily for Vici Gaming, Sand King not having a blink meant OG had very limited chasing potential. Solo kill from the Bat Rider. He's going to find
that's a
Fly.
dieback.
Yay! It's just everywhere.
This
Trying to get
guy
out
is
there.
keeping the team in the game single-handedly. Now looking to TP out from right under their noses. I think face shatters. He'll live. He will live. And just kind of
Now you
chuckle.
fight.
And meanwhile,
AA
they get to
buyback.
fight without the AA. 40 seconds on the sideline. So Huskar can run 3. There's a beautiful at the center, but the Grave is available, and that will allow Huskar to man up, go even deeper. Needs to armlet toggle his way out of this one. Fire Spear stacking up, not sufficient. He will end up falling. Alchemist kept alive. Now Ursa on the retreat. Burrow Strike is going to clip him. It's fool's gold. Gosh, they thought it was safe to move in and fight, knowing the AA was down. But once again, it seems with Fly dead, OG have more success. That's again before the Blink Dagger on S4 is ready. A very weird game. Like, heroes do not have their key items. Things that look like they should be opportunities are in fact anything but. Now we'll see a 4-staff and a completed Hurricane Pike for No-Tal. So everybody wants a 4-staff. What are we up to here? Total of 4 in the game
4
already.
staffs all over, but it just feels like whoever's like the aggressor is just getting punished every single time. Even there, it's like, okay, A is dead, let's go aggressive, but Vici Gaming overdo it. They get too aggressive. Husker goes running in way deeper than he should, even though you've got a Dazzle backing you up who graves you, but he survives during the grave, but then there's no follow-up that helps him out after the grave wears off. So Vici Gaming just not very polished with how they played their aggressive style there with the A on the sidelines, and OG punished the Husker. Alchemist continuing to get more and more farmed here. He's kind of approaching that scary status as Honor is not really looking at any counters inside on the Radiant side. Ursa at this point just doesn't have the items to really counter an Alchemist.
There's no Basher. He hasn't even managed to complete the Ags yet. He is not man-fighting the Alch. And not to mention, if he's also got to deal with some significant counters to him. The Static Link, the Ice Blast, and the Oracle in particular can just disarm him and keep him out of the fight. So I actually worry more and more for Vici as this game goes along, despite how it feels like it's not the Dream Alchemist game. It also doesn't feel like it's much of an Ursa or Huskar game either at this point.
When you have 20k, when you're doubling the net worth of your opposing team's highest core, and that core is a Bat Rider as an Alchemist, it doesn't matter if the opposing heroes are good against Alchemist.
They see his
or not.
gem and they want to
you're that
punish,
far.
but not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Alchemist at this point is just too farm to worry about counters. Well, you're 2 or 3, 2 or 4 items ahead of anyone. Like you're gonna outcarry them regardless of if those heroes counter you.
That's where the Hurricane Pike is great as well. Just such a nice way to kite the Ursa and to a lesser extent Huskar in these fights. So a completed Octarine core now. And we did see Fly go for a cloak. I guess the good thing is, even though Fly died back and it really hurt his economy, they have an Alchemist, so Ana can just give him the Axe. He doesn't really need to farm, he just needs the levels.
Yeah, that's actually a really nice point. He's probably, him and Sand King both benefit a huge amount from having an Ag Scepter pulled to them. And AA, yeah, he's going to have the levels thanks to the Midas, and Vici Gaming have to be very concerned. They're like, okay, we've got this Husker, but what's our long-term plan? Right now, it just feels like they're going to try to get this BKB on Husker and probably just go all-out fight. They can't let OG get Roshan, otherwise this game starts to look very bleak for them.
Typical Kunkka tactics, using that X just to push out lanes together with the Torrent and the Cleave, but all the while OG starting to feel more and more confident as they extend their advantage up 8,000 gold, about 6,000 experience. They've neutered their economy. The dieback on the Huskar, all the 4-staves, very utility-focused builds from literally every hero. Aside from Huskar, is just not that farm, but they have to start finding some clean kills, guys. Will they get one now? It's Yang again with the lasso, the big pullback, but it's a tanky and difficult to bring down Alchemist, who is going to start revving up a stun. Looks to turn the Yule Scepter there. He may end up stunning himself when this ends. Even so, they can't follow this up. Yang has to beat a hasty retreat down the cliff, up the other side. All that for naught. They just don't have the firepower to bring this Alk down.
Yeah, and you see ganks like that where Alk was even alone at the side of that gank and they can't kill him. You worry about the long-term success of Vici Gaming's lab. They didn't have the Husker hitting him, but even so, as long as Alk has Chemical Rage up with the Octarine Core, he's probably immortal.
He's got Radiance. Meanwhile, Alk is like, yeah, I can smack you, Bubba. Get the hell away. This is my tower now. You've got the miss chance, so he really needs an MKB. He's been forced to go into a BKB to try and like somewhat deal with the Ancient Apparition in the epicenter, but it's very rare to see a Huskar like go BKB nowadays. Generally, you just kind of soak up that damage and laugh, but this is a game where he needs it. And meanwhile, Ursa getting mauled. This is an endangered species. Have some mercy on it, but he has none. The bear is not long for this world. Stunned as the illusions will chase him down. He's going for the double kill here. Can he burn him all the way? Doesn't quite look like it. I think the heal might be enough to keep him alive, but not so lucky on the Bat Riders. He gets finished off by S4 in the tree lines. Ursa makes it back to safety. But the bears are being hunted to extinction at this point. It's looking worse and worse.
Yeah, this game has just been a bit of a clown fiesta. I don't know. This has been really sloppy play from Vici Gaming, and not OG's best game. They're trying, but I think a lot of this game for OG was they had a lot of weaknesses in their draft. Not to say they got outdrafted, but the weaknesses were exploited by the Bat Rider, especially of Yang. He did a really good job on that off lane, but you get to this point where Alchemist is just farming gears. It's very hard for OG to lose now.
They just don't have anyone who can man up on him. Ursa, though, does have the Ag, so he'll at least be difficult to kill in these fights. But already OG, the Siege, fully online now. They're just going to send illusions to zone back Vici Gaming. Almost time to start keeping an eye on buybacks here. 4 up on the Dire, none on the Radiance, so they've got a lot of insurance for this push. And all the lanes also kind of pushing out. It's not like Vici Gaming could just try to split push gods. They don't have great wave clear. They don't have a turbo farmer of any kind. There just doesn't seem to be a plan B. Like, some drafts can come back from this, but this is not really looking to be one of them.
Yeah, this draft of theirs was kind of one-dimensional in that they wanted to just win the early game laning stage, get a bunch of kills, take Roshan, take objectives, and that Roche fight was just the biggest disaster you could ever have. Like, with the number of kills that the AA Ice Blast set up. Yeah, they maybe initially did okay in the fight, but the second hurrah from OG just crushed them, and not getting the Aegis meant that Vici Gaming's draft just isn't functioning right now. They didn't secure the first Aegis. They're about to lose the second Aegis as well to OG, or maybe even OG just force a fight, because Vici Gaming are like, if they get Aegis, we probably lose. So Vici Gaming may just go aggressive here, and that could be just as bad as not getting Aegis. It's just losing a team fight here.
Oh, smoke ain't coming, but already OG, they've got high ground positioning, and they also scouted this with their scan earlier as they move forward. Epicenter coming through onto 2. A beautiful grave combined, though, with the BKB. Not exactly ideal. An Ancient Apparition Ice Blast hitting the Ursa, not hitting the Huskar, but I don't really think he can deal with the Alchemist. 1v1 he's going to try, but he's burrowed, controlled, and slapped down, turned into Chop Suey. A 2-for-1. But that was with a Great Grave, with the BKB going off. And it still doesn't matter in the end. Only losing a Razor. Alchemist not dying. Vici Gaming blowing yet another smoke unsuccessfully. No smokes left for 10 minutes. And none on the Courier. They are going to be completely choked up in their own base.
Alchemist, he's reached critical mass. He can replace his armor now, but realistically, there's nothing too much more he needs. He can start pulling Acceptors. Alk is just too monstrous right now to really be killed off. Well, they'll try, though.
They're going to need everything already. Oracle behind him with the false promise. We'll just TP to the bottom lane. They're going to look for a kill here. Yang, he's been living a charmed life so far this game, for the most part. Really the only player who's had a big impact consistently, but even he's got to run. He'll at least cut the wave, try to slow down that siege that we all know is coming. And another BOT. This time it's the Razor. Those get eyes on him, and nobody able to get in range. So Yang with the stalling tactics.
Might be time
stalling
for Roshan.
for what?
like you don't have to Rosh if you're OG. It's one of those things you're just as happy fighting, but Roshan is a good way to force a fight because if VG Gaming come to you, your Alchemist is just so strong that losing a fight just isn't going to happen.
I'll start to work on the rock. Just the bash off here on Ana. I'm just not looking very hopeful for VG Gaming at this point, guys. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like OG have to just completely self-destruct here. Like, you have to lasso the Oracle, or he just is going to purge off the lasso. Or you maybe try to kill the AA, but then you're leaving the Alchemist completely free in the fights. Alchemist is able to man-fight Ursa, which should never be happening if it's a decent Ursa game. And your Huskar is just pretty much hard countered. He, even with the BKB, even if he's not Ice Blasted, he still can't take the Alkin head-on fight. And that's not even counting the Razor, not even counting the potential for a good Ice Blast Epicenter, and not even accounting for the Aegis that OG now have.
Well, now there's an Ag Scepter on the Ancient Apparition, so whoa, Bat Rider.
Yeah,
Bye,
he
my friend.
tried so hard to slow this
You
game
mentioned
down.
OG self-destructing. I feel like there's no... It's actually at that point where no matter how bad like OG could play, Alchemist is just actually too farm. Like they have no way to physically kill this Alchemist. He's too big to fail. You're leaving... Oh, I thought the AoE stun would catch the Dazzle. It looks like he was just a millimeter short of hitting him with it.
Yeah, I thought it would as well. But does TP out. A small consolation prize for VG Gaming. TDC just able to square him out.
I don't know. This should be over by all accounts, LD. But I mean, VG,
you play it like you played 100
times
times from now. It's at 99 at least out of 100. I think
Yeah,
OG win this.
I actually don't. I mean, you could put like a pub team in OG's position. They could probably win this game. Like that's how dominant their position is right now. Like this is their heroes. Their advantage is just massive for the late game.
I guess I think it depends what pub team you're talking about. I had some pub teams that could definitely
we're
throw
talking about like
this game.
I'd say like a 5K MMR team of pub players could probably beat VG Gaming with OG's position right now.
I agree, pretty consistently as well.
Tower is under attack.
And we'll see. I don't want to. I've been wrong before when I call things too early, but this one is just like
I've never been wrong.
What's the plan for the Alchemist here? I don't think there is a plan.
I've never been wrong. This game is over.
That's why you're here, LD, to make the bold statements. But yeah, this game is over. Tune out. Go watch Moonduck or something. I don't know. Everyone just wants the secret game. Right now, OG just going through the moveset.
They will commence the siege here. Slow and steady. Lane's pushing in. Chivas gets cracked open. Now, they have given the Aegis to Notel, so you only have to kill the Alk once. That is the small consolation prizes. Ana going to use his illusions to shove in that mid lane. And they will keep on creeping in. Tower down. Safe and steady siege. Nice blast to get that debuff. And, well, say goodbye to your Huskar unless he gets, like, quadruple force-staffed out, and that'll be exactly what happens. Double force-staff for now. Back to safety, but that just leaves Alchemist free to bang away on the buildings here. Glyph is available. X will be committed. Trying to follow this up with the turret. They will move forward. But the counter force staff and the escape. And this time Yang, he won't get the jump. He will be found even despite the Yule Scepter tries to make it away. Down to 30 HP, surviving just barely at that. They work now on the Razor, but remember, Razor is Aegis. Nobody has died just yet, and this is without a particularly good Ice Blast, which is about to cool down. The Burrow comes through. S4, swinging a miss. A 3-hero Elk Stun, though. Beautiful stuff. Shredding the backliners. They don't even need to hit their Sand King Stuns. S4, he can just threaten VG Gaming, and Alchemist will do the rest. Ice Blast comes through. BKB deployed. Alchemist will let him go for now. But already, the one rack's down. The second to follow. His ultimate is going to wear off here. They'll have that small window maybe where the Chemical Rage isn't available, but Huskar dunking in. And they can just about pop that Chemical Rage again. And even if they kill off the Razor, still a second life to work with. They'll let the Aegis go. They bring down the rain tracks. Still on a confident enough to stick around, and they go back in an Epicenter from S4. He actually does
this is it, LD.
little bit of damage, but VG Gaming just don't have anything left in the tank. Their chances to win this game were the first 15 to 20 minutes, Scotch. This last 20 has just been all OG.
One last hurrah maybe, but it doesn't even look like that's gonna... It doesn't look like VG have anything left in the tank.
And now Alchemist starts pulling the Aghanim Scepter, so Fly already been given one, it looks like. More likely to follow. The Ice Blast coming in. Second melee Rex down, and it all begins to crumble for the new Vici Gaming, and they recognize it too. Yang calls the GG. They end this game down nearly 30,000 gold, about 15,000
Vici
experience.
Gaming. It's an alright run from this tournament, but it was more the way they went out like these last two games where it feels like they just didn't. I don't know. This game especially was just chaotic. I mean, I think it was one of those games that just kind of divulged into this like terrible like pub style game where everyone was just playing like this run in, fight, die, and then buy back, die again. But this is definitely a game Vici Gaming will not remember. Even OG, you're gonna look at this game and be like, "What just happened?" That just felt like a absolute shit show of a game. But Honors Alchemist just farming away ultimately gets farmed enough to carry them.
Yeah, really solid showing here overall by the OG boys, and they will advance. So they're going to be playing the winner of our next match, which is LGD.Forever Young versus Team Secret. Did they already play before? I feel like they did. Maybe I'm
group
remembering.
Stage.
Were they?
I think LGD.Forever Young were in Group A, weren't they?
Maybe I'm confusing them with. No, they were in the same group. I believe they did play. And I think
It's Secret. Yeah, Secret was also Group A. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So
Secret
both
beat
teams
them
were Group A.
2-0.
You're right.
So last time these teams faced, it was a pretty convincing win for Team Secret. But we'll see if LGD.Forever Young learned anything over the past couple days. What do you think? Do you think we're going to get a decent series out of it, or do you expect Secret to just roll them once again?
I think LGD.Forever Young got a bit more momentum coming from the lower bracket. They had a nice 2-0 against IG Vitality, which is not a walkover team. That's one of those kind of breakout teams for me over the last month or two. So I think that was a good win. I think LGD are playing a lot better than they did in the group stage. And they did take a game off Secret. It wasn't like the games they lost were pretty bad, which is where it kind of felt a bit stompy. But it should be closer. But at the same time, I think on Secret's camp, they've suddenly just been elevating their play from series to series. They're gelling better as a team. Secret looks to just be getting stronger throughout this tournament. So probably a 2-0 for Secret, but I don't know. I never want to doubt Zhao Wei too much, so we'll see what he's got planned.
All right, well, that classic duel, Puppy versus Xiao Wei, will be coming your ways after this, guys. But for now, OG, they advance to the next round. They will be facing the winner of that match. And in the middle there, we'll have Newbie taking on EG to see who advances into the grand finals. MDL starting to draw towards the close. I'm LD. He's gone. So you're watching Beyond the Summit, and we'll be back.